followed by student athlete Eugene Omaruyi. Reminder to hit the raise hand function if you have a question for Coach Altman or for Eugene. Coach, we will start with an opening statement from you, and then we will turn it over for questions.
Well, we arrived Monday, and we did get to practice late last night, so we're off to our start here. We've got practice this afternoon today. So we're off and running, trying to prepare for VCU, an opponent that will give us a different look than what we've seen throughout the year. A lot of run and jump traps that, we'll have to get ready for. Very good team, very athletic, very deep. And so it's a team that I'm glad we have a few days to prepare for, because they will give us a different look.
You hear us there, Coach?
I can't, no.
I think we might have a connection to the hotel that doesn't look too great. We'll give this a try. We'll try with a question. Let's go to James Creppier from the Oregonian first.
Dana, you've had a chance to look at some film of them. Your impressions of Bones Highland, the A-10 Player of the Year, and just the unique challenge that he's going to present to you guys.
Well, he's a great scorer, and he scores from different places on the court. He can get to the rim. He's a good three-point shooter. So he scores at all three levels. Difficult matchup. To give you just kind of, he's Remy Martin, only bigger. He can get to the rim. He can get to the free throw line. He shoots threes. He'll play with the ball out there and pull one from deep. So, I think to give our fans a little, he's Remy Martin, but he's bigger. So very talented player, very athletic team, very deep team. They'll play 10 guys and rotate them in there, and all 10 of them very athletic and really get after you defensively.
Let's go to Ryan Thorburn, register guard.
Dana, you've had a lot of success in the first round at Oregon. Is there a common denominator to that other than having really good teams? Is there something you and your staff do to get prepared for that first game? How would you kind of describe your philosophy going into round one?
Well, it's like we approach all games. We want to try to play the way we like to play. The opposing team always gives us a challenge, and it's a team we're not familiar with. So fortunately, we have a few days to get prepared, and in this case, more days to get prepared, which I'm thankful for because of the unusual style that VCU plays. And so, the matchups are always what really dictates. If you get a good matchup, I think your chances go up. We've been seeded anywhere from 1 to 12, and so there hasn't been a common denominator of, we've been seeded really well, and we've had opponents that we should beat, in a number of cases, in an underdog, and our guys have taken that as a challenge. So, we're excited about playing like all teams. This is a very unusual tournament. Will Richardson and Will Johnson, Luke Osborne were all with us on our Sweet 16 team, and they all commented how different it was, and it is different. But these are different times, and so I think the teams that manage, the difference being quarantined and staying in your hotel, and I don't know if it's a bubble, but it's a lockdown. We're on our floor, and the only time we go out is to practice. We've got a team meeting room where we eat, and it's all spread out. So the NCAA has taken a lot of precautions to make sure that everyone stays safe and healthy, and it makes it very different for the players.
Let's go to Rob Mosley, GoDucks.com.
Coach, you mentioned, they're going to play a bunch of guys. Are you going to have to play an extra guy or two in this matchup compared to the rotation you've been relying on?
The timeouts are so long. TV dictates, 2.5, 3 minute timeouts. So it's about twice as long as we usually have. So, in a tournament setting, unless you get in foul trouble, you don't necessarily have to do that. It's just a matter of who we feel like can handle that pressure. That's going to be a big part of it offensively. Defensively, obviously, we've got to guard and protect the rim a little bit because they like to put it on the floor and get to the rim. But, we also have to make sure we don't turn the ball over. They get 18, 19 points a game off their turnovers, and a lot of those are layups, so we've got to handle the ball. We can't give them close to 20 points on points off turnovers if we're going to be successful. So I think it's important that whoever we put out there is strong with the ball.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
You just kind of touched on it there, Dana. They're one of the best teams in the country in getting steals, but they also foul quite a bit. It's just the importance of taking care of the ball and then making sure you're still aggressive to maybe capitalize on those fouls to get free throws.
No, we want to attack. We press and teams attack us, and that always puts a big significance on getting back and getting your defense put together quickly, and we definitely want to do that against VCU. We don't want to let them dictate everything. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to attack the press. They cause a lot of turnovers. They turn it over a lot, and they do put people on the free throw line. So we got to hit free throws. So again, it's just a different style of team that hopefully in the next couple of days of practice, our guys get used to that style. But last night, our scout team did a great job of just flying around and putting hands on and fouling and getting after the guys, to try to get them accustomed to this style of play.
Go to Lucas Weese of Complex Canada.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, last season, Eugene, that was his redshirt season. I'm just curious, what were your expectations of him coming into this year, and how has he grown as a player and a leader this year for you guys?
Well, Lucas, Eugene's done a tremendous job developing his game. Last year, he had surgery, and so he went through the rehab on that, and so we didn't get to see what he could really do. And we didn't get him back until September, but he's worked hard at his game. He's worked hard on the perimeter, becoming more of a perimeter player. He's taken a lot more threes this year, but he's worked on that to develop that. And his shot selection has gotten better over the course of the season, and because of that, his percentages have gone up. So as a player, he's really developed. And I think he's about a year away with his ball skills and that of being a bona fide, perimeter player, but he does have to work on his ball skills. I've talked to him about that, but, he's very close to being a big three man who can put the ball on the floor, and because he can guard a lot of different positions. His feet are good and he can guard a lot of different positions. As far as becoming a leader, his work ethic sets a tone for us, but also the guys know he's all in. Anybody who takes 27, 28 charges on a year is all in. He's given up his body. He plays hard. He's physical. He's done everything we've asked him to do. When Dante got hurt, it changed our rotation. It changed everything we're trying to do. And, he's all about winning. He's all about the team. And, that's what, coaches value and people at the next level value. They want winners. They want guys who'll do whatever it takes to help the team win. And Eugene's one of those guys.
James Crepea, Oregonian.
Dana, do these guys play above the rim more than anybody you've played this year on both ends, not just offensively and dunks, but defensively? I think Ward has more blocks than anybody you guys have played other than Evan Mobley.
Well, he's got 66 blocks, and their other guys got 33. So they got two guys that are right at 100 blocks, which, going back, that's what Jordan Bell would have had 100 for us, and Chris Boucher had 100 for us. So, those two guys are shot blockers. So, and the rest of their guys are very athletic, but they do have two guys that will challenge everything at the rim, and are very explosive players.
Ryan Thorburn, register guard.
Dana, I was just wondering, are any of the players or coaches going to be able to have family there, and what kind of an atmosphere are you expecting? Obviously, Indiana is a state that loves basketball. They won't have a rooting interest, but what do you think the atmosphere?
Well, there are some families that are coming in, like Vegas. Our players won't be able to see them until, I hope, for a few weeks, but it's just one of those things that we're isolated here. So we do have families coming in. They'll be able to watch the games, but they won't be able to be with their sons. And the venues, are different. I think our first game is in just a 6,800 seat arena. I think they're letting like 25%, capacity. So a couple thousand people, which will be different for us. We've played every game except with, a few people at the tournament and a few people at Arizona State. Every place else has been empty. And so it will be a little different, even just to have a couple thousand in the arena.
James Crepea, Oregonian.
Then you mentioned Eugene's knack for taking charges and getting those, and I know you rave about that play. Obviously, how important is it, not just in any game, but in this game specifically, because Highland committed a couple of charges and got those 3 fouls in the A-10 tournament final? They're really focused on that, and that's the last tape you guys looked at. I'm sure you saw it. That's something that he seems to be a little susceptible at for sophomores. He's aggressive and he may lower the shoulder, and you might have the great counter to that on the inside.
They all, will go to the rim. I talked to our guys about, we got to fight the dribble. It's a team that they're not real explosive from the 3-point line. You take out a couple of their shooters, they're going to put it down and go try to go to the hole. And so it's going to be important that we fight the dribble, stay between them and the basket. But anytime, James, that you can take a charge, it puts a thought in their mind. And that's why Eugene's been so important to us and valuable on the defensive end, because guys are always looking, where's he at? And it takes away some aggressiveness going to the rim. So if he can pick up, an early charge, it definitely will put a thought in their head. I'd like to see a few of our other guys step in there and take them. It's something that, we talk about, and we've had some guys step in and take charges, but not nearly as many as Eugene. And it's meant a lot to our defense, no doubt.
Okay, any more questions for Coach Altman this morning? That looks like it. Coach, thank you for your time.
All righty, thank you.
Next, we will have